It's time for the movie raid, and tonight's victim is actor R.A. Mihailoff that played as Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, amongst others. Hello.
Mike, how are you?
What's going on?
Oh, man, the wheels are turning, the wheels are spinning 100 miles an hour. This is the beginning of the Halloween season, and it's Go Man Van Go.
Oh, man. Not only that, you're also into paranormal activity stuff. Do that on the side, or are you getting ready to do some of that before Halloween?
Well, yeah, Kane Hodder and I and Rick McCullum have a group called Hollywood Ghost Hunters. Wherever we're invited, wherever the opportunity presents itself, we will have ghosts will travel.
And since you've been in several horror films over the past years, how many levels do you think it would take to go through to get to that climatic moment, or to get that madness from the character?
Well, one level, and that's when the director calls action. I don't get lost in my work. I separate that. I can split you in half with a chainsaw, shove an ice pick up through your chin out through the top of your head in 1 minute, and the next minute I can be cracking jokes and drinking a cup of coffee.
Since the horror genre has advanced over the years, do you think there's some unnecessary changes to it?
Unnecessary?
Yes.
Well, not unnecessary. I don't think unnecessary. I like the way it's changed. Actually, I'm a big fan of hardcore stuff. So I like that.
Yeah, there's like so many different kind of genres. It's almost like with the music genre. There's like so many sub-genres and regular genres. And the thing is, there's just so much of it out there. Do you think that the tastefulness is kind of gone by, or are you just pretty much a hardcore fan of I guess you'd say, the torture porn and so forth?
Well, yeah. Like I said, I like the brutally graphic stuff. I mean, it's very hard. It's very hard to offend me on celluloid. What offends me is shoddy work more than the content.
Do you think there's even less challenges to performing in these types of roles anymore, since we've advanced so far in the horror genre?
No, I don't. If you're an actor worth your salt, you commit to the material. If you accept the job, then you must commit to the material. And so it's not any easier. I mean, acting is acting, whether you're playing, the father of three girls or some maniac running through the woods with a chainsaw. Once you step in front of the camera, stepping into a rarefied atmosphere that's outside the normal realm, you know what I mean? You're in a completely artificial world, and the more you can commit to that world, the better your performance will be. I mean, for example, take something like Beverly Hillbillies. Do you ever watch that?
Yes.
I love that show. Think about it. Those people are so committed, so inhabit their character so deeply that you actually forget that they're really trained Hollywood actors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm amazed. I watch the show every time I can see it, and I just marvel at how deeply they inhabit the character. And if you're an actor that's serious about acting, you should bring that commitment to any role that you accept.
But since now we have better lighting, we have a lot better props and so forth, do you think it's just becoming a little bit too easy to play in this type of genre because of this?
No, I think it only enhances your performance. The bigger the budget, the better supplied you are with special effects and props and talent. It just elevates the project to another level. It's not a walk in the park in a sense that you just can't walk in off the street and deliver a believable performance. I mean, I'm sure there are rare exceptions where that could happen, but as a rule, people spend years developing their craft. The technology only enhances the performance. Strip it down. Go back to acting is originally on stage. Many people are active in the movie business, have a history in theater, and that's kind of bare bones compared to movies. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's actually becoming a little bit too much of a novelty and a little bit too artificial? Since it's 2016, and we've got countless of films that have been either spoofs of other films and not considered as an actual scary film anymore.
Well, I don't know. I will say this. I don't know if this is exactly is the answer to your question, but I hate CGI. Absolutely, totally, thoroughly detest CGI. Practical effects to me are the best. So as the technology gets better, but the practical effects get better.
Yeah, and it comes unbalanced sometimes because when there's a lot of the newer films like this are using the CGI and it does look fake, it does feel fake. I love practical effects. I think it's great. It feels, looks, and puts me in the moment of the scene. But when you got the CGI version and other new stuff with this, it feels fake and it feels like the actor is not even really trying because, it's, like I said, it seems like it's too easy to look rather than looks like, put in the moment.
Right. I have to admit that I haven't had a great deal of experience with CGI. I've been very fortunate to most of the projects I've worked on have had very, very good practical effects. In April, I did a movie called Death House, and I ripped Kane Hodder's guts out. and then he stuffs them back in and kills me, but it was all done practical, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, and not only that, it almost seems like with so much of this happening, it seems like the audience are starting to hate the genre because it keeps repeating itself, and it just doesn't look right or feel right anymore these days.
The way to cure that is just don't patronize the movies that you don't like.
Yeah, it becomes harder these days that especially they'll focus on one specific genre that it's about like the whole marketing thing where these type of horror films are making big bucks compared to these other types of horror films.
And so everybody jumps on the bandwagon and does the same thing.
Yeah, and I see so many of these supernatural films basically looking like, I'm not saying all of them, or same thing with slasher films, like it looks like too much like The Exorcist, or it's too much like Friday the 13th, and so forth and so forth. It's like, is there anything really new anymore?
Well, that is a tough nut to crack, but every once in a while, something comes along that is a game changer, against all the odds, and then that'll start another trend.
Yeah, especially sometimes when you get like two directors, like from a different horror film. They did this horror film, the other one did this one. They were both known for it, and you put them together. Sometimes it's not exactly the great combination. It's almost like a stirring soup. Sometimes you get the wrong ingredients.
Yeah, exactly.
When you go see a horror film, I mean, how do you feel when you watch these newer films compared to the ones, let's say, from the 80s and so forth? These type films have been well known for years compared to these other ones that are getting criticized.
Well, I really, I don't have an issue with it. I don't know, if the movie's well done, then I'm satisfied. Like I said earlier, it's very difficult to offend me on anything, on anything on celluloid. So as long as the movie's well done, I'm usually satisfied. I'll tell you one movie I absolutely thoroughly detested, and that was Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town.
Why so?
It was such a piece of crap. I'd gotten, this is back in the VCR days, I had gotten a screener copy. I watched it, I sat through the whole thing, and when it was over, I pulled the video cassette out of the machine, threw it on the floor, and stomped it to pieces. I hated that movie so much.
What if you got a chance to be in it, though?
Well, I didn't get a chance to be in the movie, and it was just such a piece of crap that, I couldn't stand it.
Since the Leatherface character, has that actually improved your future performances based just by playing that character, even though it's from an existing franchise?
Well, when you play the titular character of a movie, that puts you in a different level, So it has opened doors for me that may have never been opened.
Yeah. Do you think it can get a little bit too dangerous when you're playing that type of character? You think it can be a little bit too dangerous getting to a certain point of that level, like I mentioned before, getting to that madness part?
Well, see, that's not my process. I don't work that way. I don't, in any shape or form, try to bring myself to the edge of madness. It's a performance, You use the tools of an actor to portray that, And so the more skillful you are at using those tools, the better your performance is.
And sometimes when you're looking at these other films like this, they either take the role a little bit, probably would say too serious, even though it is a horror film, or they just go, because there is a specific like balance in a way when you go a little bit too much. It was like, okay, now I can't even believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. Come on, man. You can't lose yourself in a character. It's like Kirk Douglas said many years ago. If he lost himself in a character and he played a murderer, he'd end up in prison. And
some actors get fired for that. It's some films that actually works, and sometimes it can be too much, depending on what you're playing as.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if somebody works that way, then more power to them. But I don't work that way personally, and I'm not really sure if I've ever really performed with anybody that's worked that way as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a job, and here's a perfect analogy. The Looney Tune cartoons where the sheepdog and the wolf.
Yes.
They punch the clock. The whistle blows. Good morning, Ed. Good morning, Ralph. And then they take their positions. The whistle blows, and then they beat the snot out of each other for the rest of the cartoon till quitting time. See you tomorrow, Ed. See you tomorrow, Ralph. And that's sort of kind of a goofy way to explain it, but that's sort of like that's like acting. It really is a job, and you come in, you go to work, you do your work, and you go home.
Yeah. Do you think horror is in a good place right now?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, yeah. Don't you?
Well, I'm gonna say I'm on the fence on it because right now we got tons of remakes right now. But I'm not saying there's not any good horror films out there. There's a couple out there actually to want to see right now that's actually playing in theaters.
What do you want to see?
I would like to see Don't Breathe.
Yes, I would like to see that one.
Because it doesn't appear too traditional. Like, it's not a hideous creature. I'm only based on what I saw in the trailer. I'm only talking about only in the trailer. This guy is just looks like your normal guy. He's blind. I'm not giving away anything, by the way. And a bunch of kids want to be stupid and try to steal from this guy, and they screwed with the wrong person. And I'd like to see how this plays out from a blind person that may be a little psychotic and he has a dog and so forth. It almost reminds me a little bit like People Under the Stairs. So I like to see how that plays out. So I'm really looking forward to it. And this one was already released, but I definitely like Monkey's Paw.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that one. I'll tell you one I'll tell you the truth. I very seldom go to the actual movie house to watch movies. I either go to a private screening or I wait till they come out on cable. I just don't. Bad experience going, I hate going to the movie theater with the general public, and I'll tell you why. Because dicking around with their cell phones, they're talking, they're getting up and down, eating, candy and popcorn and stuff like that, and it annoys me, So I quit going to the regular movies many years ago. But I'll tell you what, I look forward to seeing when it does reach cable. I want to see the Green Room. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't think there's any supernatural element to it. It's more of a thriller, but I guess it's pretty brutal.
Now, you mentioned that you were also in Death House. Isn't that going to be on a DVD in a couple months or so?
Good question. I haven't had an update in a while. I know that Harrison Smith, the director, has been working on it, and it looks really good. Kane Hodder's in it. I'm in it. Michael Berryman's in it. Bill Moseley, Tony Todd, Sid Haig, I think, is in it. Barbara Crampton. It's full of, genre people. A different tone, a whole different, but everybody's in it. So I guess that's why they call it the Expendables of horror. Well, the Death House, was based on a story that the late great Gunnar Hansen came up with.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to see him in there too, but unfortunately, rest in peace. Hopefully, we'll get to see something of him in there within the film.
Well, he's actually listed in the cast. I'm not sure how they did that. He may have a cameo in there in some fashion.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and plug in any websites, any projects, or anything that you're doing currently, or even any other information about Death House or any other films that you're involved in right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can tell you a couple of things. A movie I did called The Taker, where I play the co-host of a paranormal investigation show that has been accepted for the DTLA Film Festival, which is the Downtown Los Angeles Film Festival. That's coming up. A movie I did in Columbia, Missouri. It had just screened last weekend at a convention, and it was very well received. It will be coming out shortly. That's called Slasher.com. Of course, Death House is on the horizon somewhere. It'll be showing up somewhere soon. And then, the rest of this month, man, is Halloween personal appearances. I'm on my way to Haunted Haven in Rock Falls, Illinois. I come back, I do Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky with my good friend Kane Hodder. down to Atrox Factory in Birmingham, Alabama, up to a place in Milwaukee called The Hill Has Eyes, and then down to Scream Park in Green Cove Springs, Florida, up to Pinhead's Graveyard in Asheville, and then over to Germany for Weekend of Hell.
Very nice.
Yeah, it is very nice.
There you go. That is actor R.A. Mihailoff.